Is there any prop firms that accept payments with crypto? I think there actually are, yeah. There is a couple prop firms. I actually think my fund of futures might actually take crypto. You'd have to double check that though. Just have a little look at the main prop firms and or ask ChatGPT. Really, that's definitely a ChatGPT question right there. Okay, so we're gonna do this one, and then log into Lucid Trading, and then we're gonna log into this one for top one fuckers, top funded futures. Which account is it? Is it this one? No, that's Traderify. I don't. Oh, it's nah. It's got to be that one. Top TOF. Let's have a little log in. Let's have a little look. Should be free accounts. Yeah, it is. Free accounts. Lovely. Let's have a little look at the group. Alright, let's get that other one in there. Alright, 6-2's the lead. Okay, so they're all at 51.5. Lovely. Okay, so preferably I want Lucid Trading to pass, and I want top one futures to blow. Now, it's one of those points where I have to try predict where price is likely to go in the next 26 points, so I can get what I want. Potentially I won't, but I'm going to get something. It's one of those moments. Let me think. Alright, so that'll be with 12. That'll be with that. It's going to be with that. With 4. And then. Okay. Zero, 3, 0, 4. Alright, cool. So I'm running it now. Okay, so 710.25 plus 26. 73625. 73625. So that'll be sell limit. Oh no. No, it's with, so we need 1580 divided by 4, divided by 20, 1975. So basically, let's do 20. So 709.50 minus 20, 689.50. So do a buy limit. Let's change that one. Looks like we're going to get top 1 futures here. Alright, 710.25 plus 20, 730.25. Alright, cool. Basically everything's set up, so that would be another accounts basically getting passed as we speak. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, see how it runs really. That's basically it. So as far as this point, we would look for a shift lower in structure. We have a clean sweep of buy side on the Nasdaq and also on ES. Overall bearish bias, which is also clean. Now the bias might have changed at 3 AM because now the hourly's closed. You can see that we inversed the hourly bearish gap because that was previously bearish, right? But now it's actually bullish. And then you can also look at the 15. So the 15 is going to be bearish. That's remained the same. And same with the 5. And then if you look at the 4-hour time frame, we previously had it down as bearish. And that one's actually is still the same. And obviously the daily is still going to be bullish as well. So we do still have an overall bearish bias, which is fine. Just try and get there. Nah, bearish, We reject from the hourly fair value gap, bullish, and we inverse the new week opening gap. That's not bearish. So the new week opening gap hasn't been inversed on the 4-hour time frame, and on the daily, it's still bullish, and the bias is bearish. So the bias is what it is. It is the way that is the bias, mate. So if price doesn't display slower here, then fine. There wouldn't be any model in the first. We look at the next London macro. Basically it. What are your thoughts on the PB guys? Do you think they are LARPing or genuinely think they know what they're talking about? I don't know, mate. I don't really focus on other people. I'll be honest. Don't really care about other people. Don't dwell on it. I just focus on making money and just enjoying life, really. They know what they are talking about 100% for sure about that. Yeah, I mean, they got knowledge. They know what they're talking about. I don't know whether someone makes money or not. I haven't seen their bank statements or broker statements or anything. So, someone mentioned about PB guys. I mean, I don't really discuss other people. I don't like speaking about other people. So, if you want to go see, you can go test it out yourself. I mean, go join their group or whatever. You don't have to be here if you don't want to be here, brother. I just bring it up because I feel like they take way more trades than Milo. I feel so. I'm not sure if they trade the same models or some shit. Yeah, I mean, you know, I just follow the model. I don't really know how much money they've made. I don't really care. I've been in this business for many years. I don't have anything to say. I can't be bothered. But you can make your own decision on that. I mean, if you want to go with them, just go with them. They take loads of trades, so it should be good for you. Hopefully they take more than 2 a day or something. Bro, I'm unprofitable. I'm on every Discord. Right, that's probably why. Even Chasen can tell you that. I mean, you know, what type of statement is that? You're in every Discord. How's it going for you then? What Discords are you in then? Bro's been around the block, eh? You're getting yeah, exactly. I mean, he's getting passed around like that bitch from Miami. What's her name? The fucking 17-year-old, bruv. Fucking Shaganujas, or whatever the fucking her name is, mate. I mean, she doesn't even trade. She just promotes Alpha Futures and gets paid by the company. Oh yeah, here's a payment, you know, can you make a video? Oh yeah, I'll make a video, mate. You know, fuck that shit. But yeah, one thing, if you want to just like look at people's social medias, okay, because that's obviously where you find them. How many times do you see them posting a loss? Now, don't worry, guys, nothing's happening. So we're chilling. We have a intellectual conversation. But when you see them, do you see them post a loss? I don't. They won't even say they've took it. They're like, oh, there's this loss today. Oh, bro, if you took that, shut the fuck up. You fucking took it, you loser. You know, so it's like, I fucking post everything, you know, we don't give a flying fuck. Social media is not, you know, I don't care. I like to show everything. That's what we do. Yeah. Hey, 66k month? What do you mean 66k month? You just said you're unprofitable, buddy. Don't really make sense, that. 66k in debt? You all are bitches. Why is that? Well, I mean, I'm up, let's say, 7.3R on the month of January. How's your buddy over in the other Discords doing? I'm just asking you a question. I don't know why you're getting so angry about it. We're only having an intellectual conversation, you know, and I've got the stats to prove it. I've done it all live. I closed October live, 8R profit. Closed December in a profit. I had a losing month in November. I'm up 7.3R in fucking January, mate. January. Oh, he's back now. So he's back now. Okay. Well, it's good you're back. Let's be real. So he's being real now. Well, if you're being real, tell me what groups that you've joined. Let's hear it. No, I won't kick him. He's not really like... I wouldn't say he's crossed the line. Bit of pointless breath, really. We got a few gay flags. You know, people got to let them know. Someone even spelled out N-I-G-E. I won't say the rest, but... what flag... not what fucking flags. What groups have you joined? And how much money have you made from those groups? You said nothing, but... You know, let's hear some ins and outs. So, literally only joined you and joined PB for a month, and they stopped going live. Oh. So they don't trade live? Oh dear. So they don't go live anymore. They have like this $5K boot camp. Oh dear. Well, that just kind of tells you everything, doesn't it? 5K a month? They better fucking wipe my face with gold, mate. 5K a month for my ass. Oh dear. Well, these days no one really trades live, do they? Give a flying rat, mate. I've got my trade sinker set up, mate. I'm in the mix. I don't know what accounts I'm going to get past here, but I've got a guaranteed accounts getting past. Matter of fact, I'll turn the order filled on so you guys can hear that. You guys will hear when these accounts pass, mate. Order notifications, order audio notifications. So we're getting a shift on the Nasdaq. We inverse the bullish order block, and it's potentially going to be paired with this gap. Now, if I look at the good old ES has fucked it, and it's shifted structure, but it's currently failed. Right, it's not going to form a gap here. It's going to have to head on a little bit more. Now, if we look at first, second, and third IV. Okay. So that's the IV on the Nasdaq, and that's the IV on ES. So it does have an opportunity to create a gap. Now, this wouldn't be valid on the Nasdaq to take for shorts. Okay. Dre requested to speak, and then he just cancelled it. If you guys hear an order fill, don't shit yourself. It's because I've passed some accounts. So I'm just, you know, it's the sound of business. Right. Let's have a little look at this this little thing here. Right. Turn these off. Okay, so if I have a look at ES, you can see it did not form a gap, and there's no gap there. So this is not even a shift on ES. Okay, so this is nothing. It couldn't shift below the low regardless. There's no low here, and this is just the IV. So, yeah. This first London macro is not actually going to offer us any opportunities. Now, those of you that are in New York, or those of you that are in the US, I know what you're doing. You're likely sat on your chair. Some of you have passed out. And I don't blame you either, because fucking hell, waking up at that time is definitely a challenge in the US. Do I recommend it? Not really. You know, I just say trade the New York session, trade the PM session, get paid, and then just, if you want to trade London, just change your location. That's what you got to do there. That's all it is. US is a ticking time bomb, so right now I'm trying to make some bread and get out of here. Yeah, that's why I left. I only, you know, not alone just the crime, and by the way, the shorts here, they're not valid. You know, there was no shift on ES and no gap, regardless of the bias. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's a strange mentality they have, but yeah, number one, it's not really, you know, safe in many of the parts of the US, and also it's extremely expensive for no reason. So in the early stages or in any stage of business, unless you're operating a $1 billion company, or you have to operate in the US and you have to be there, right? They say your business has to go and be there and you have to pay those taxes, then okay. But if you don't want to be there, because places like Miami and New York and LA, those are the top three places, right? Well, it's going to cost you at least 30, 40k a month, and you'll be living relatively normal. Yeah. Milo, where would you settle? I'm pretty settled now, to be honest. You know, I've actually spoke to the agency. Now, I've got this apartment for a year, so I'm going to be staying in this apartment until August, and I'm speaking with the agency now. They've actually secured me the penthouse on the roof. I've been putting so many fucking requests in for it, and the lady's got me a viewing. It was meant to be today, so I need to see what the lady's saying. If not, it'll be, you know, sometime this week, which is good. And then I'll be flying somewhere next week. Well, no, in like 2 weeks, I'm flying out of Thailand to get a 5-year DTV visa, and then I'll fly back. So that's good, you know. 5-year visa. It basically means I can stay for 6 months at a time, and I can get a 6-month extension for like $200, $200. Or I just, you know, within 6 months, I fly Dubai, sort a few things, I come back, I get 6 months every single time. You know, unlimited. No, I've never been to China, no. I think it'd be good to go there eventually. No, I don't have a DTV now, no. I'll tell you what, one thing that I will be doing is, if this visa, everything, I have a good experience and it's successful, and I don't come back through the border and they put me in jail for a fake visa, that's the only thing I was getting kind of paranoid about, because it has happened to a few people. I'll put it in the Discord, you know, so the agency that I go through, how much it costs, where you fly to and everything, and I'll give you guys the process for that. I'll tell you what, matter of fact, they're actually taking too much time. I texted this guy earlier. It's been 2 hours, mate. No. It's been 2 hours, mate. Let me call him. Sloppy shit. This guy's gay, mate. What's he doing? Can I make appointment ASAP? Need to sort visa DTV. They are very good. Look them up. Relo Thai Visa Services. Okay. You have to go to Vietnam. Yeah. No, that's what I was thinking. I want to go to Vietnam because they actually got like decent hotels. Now these people, I got my ting to speak to them because they speak Thai, and these people got great reviews. You know, they've been in the business like 16 years and everything. But they told me that I have to go to a place like called Laos. I was like, nah, brother. You know, we're not going to no place called Laos, or I don't know what they was talking about. Right. Alright, yes, ChatGPT, mate. So, you know, I've just been recommended this Relo Thai visa services. Do they have a office in Pattaya that I can attend to, say, tomorrow? And if so, what's the times? Where's the place? What's the address? And also scan for like all of the reviews on Trustpilot, Reddit, and social media platforms. Give me the ins and outs, short answer, quick, snappy. And if you recommend any other visa service agency which gets me a visa to go to Vietnam, because I just got told by Siam International, which you said had been in the game for 16 years, they said they want me to go to a place called like, you know, Laos, or I don't even know what the fuck it is, mate, but it don't sound good, don't sound appealing, and they're not even responding to my messages, so for all I know, they're gay. So let's get this on the maps, and take your time with some research. Let's have a little look. Brother, do you have any connection to rent an apartment in Dubai? I want to move there permanently. I know you despise this country, but I am Muslim, hence why I think it would suit me the best. To be honest, brother, I don't despise the country. I think for a lot of people, it does suit a lot of people. If you are, you know, Muslim, and Dubai's got a lot to offer, it's very convenient, and you can get things ordered to your house instantly. Even things like IV therapy, there is apps where you can just literally order massage lady to come to your house, IV therapy, you name it, and everything. You can even order fuel for your car, and it will pull up to your condo or your villa or whatever, wherever you're staying at, you know. So it's extremely convenient. Let me actually speak to someone now. So how much, well, let's not talk how much, but how long are you looking to say, you said permanently, would you be looking for, say, like a 1 year lease? Like a villa or a condo? Would you like to stay in an apartment or a villa? I do have someone, but he sells places, but he'd be able to recommend me. Okay, so they just responded. Documents required for DTV, passport, 4 photographs attached to application form, bank statements from Thailand or abroad showing remaining balance of more than 600k Thai baht or equivalent, proof of rental contract for accommodation in Thailand. Okay, that's fine. Okay, perfect. When can I bring this to you, as I have my current visa is running out on the 10th of February. Great. Fucking hell, I'm still in this trade. Gonna see which accounts we get. I mean, you know, it is starting to lean a little bit more towards, let's say, Lucid. Be fucking interesting. Milo, I would like the same thing, but in Thailand, brother, looking to rent a penthouse for 6 to 8 months. What would you recommend personally? Phuket, Koh Pang. So these places that you've mentioned, I didn't.
Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
Alright, so that's obviously top 1 futures. Oh, it came so close to getting those. So essentially, if we wick just above this current candle's high, if we wick just above it, then all of the accounts pass. But top 1 futures, yeah, so it literally just went above 53. I need a couple ticks. That's basically it.
Order filled.
Okay, cool. So that's passed. So that's basically given me all of the Lucid accounts that I need, which is great. So, did I meet consistency? I'm pretty sure I did. Let's log into Lucid and see. You should see it on the Lucid Discord. Usually they post my name in there or something, like they did last time. So, let's have a little look. Dashboard on Lucid. Should be able to activate these now for the next London macro. No, so the top 1 futures, it hit the daily loss limit. So they're down like 1,300 on the day. So I think they still got a drawdown. I don't really know how that works or what's going on with that. Maybe they failed, I don't know. But I haven't looked into their rules. But they hit the daily loss limit of 1.2. So I'll probably send them at... I might send them... at a New York Open tomorrow. But that's good. That's what I wanted, because that means that basically I'm going to run top 1 futures and Blue Knox on CPI, and I'll get another 6 accounts on CPI if CPI hits. Launch trading dashboard. Okay, upgrade to funded. Okay, so they're passed. You've passed the evaluation. Good. Good stuff, mate. Alright, cool. So, Milo, are you Christian? Yes. I'll speak to you guys at 3:35, so in about 10 minutes, okay, for the next London macro. Pretty clean so far, you know. Nice sweep of buy side, and we'll see if we get any opportunities in the next London macro. Alright, yes guys, let's have a little wander, let's have a little look, see what we're dealing with in the second London macro here. So, obviously we got a shift on the Nasdaq, so that's great, and we're currently respecting the model. And then ES has fucked it, so ES actually disrespected the model. Okay, so, you know, what we can look for as of now is 2 points, is that we get a shift below this low. That's also fine, because we already swept buy side. All price resweeps buy stops. It's going to do one or the other. But yeah, I want to go Swiss Alps. Yeah, my cousin, actually, you know, he lives in Canada on the ski resort. Quite likes it there, he says it's good. I was speaking to him the other day about hotels there, and he recommended me a few hotels in the Alps, and I think he said something about £50,000 a week for some of the suites there, especially the nice ones, you know, the presidential or whatever you call it. The sky is very much the limit when it comes to those type of places. I mean, the most expensive hotel I've stayed in was Four Seasons in New York, and for me, that personally, I sat there and I think, holy shit, is a bed really worth, you know, £14,000 for a few nights? But it was good. It was good. You know, it was a very nice hotel. It had a lot of facilities and everything. But £50,000 or something for a week? I don't know if I would pay that. You'd have to be mentally retarded. But yeah, I mean, some people do pay that. You know, some people do have really a lot of money. £55,000 in a week on a hotel is what some people do pay. So yeah, it's one of those things, you know. Well, you know, if you listen to Lil Uzi Vert, Money Longer, back in 2016, your money ain't getting longer. It doesn't matter how much money you're making, but if you're spending £50,000 in a week on a ski resort, okay, and that's just for the apartment, you know, your money ain't getting longer, buddy. You may have made 200, 300k this month, but you've just spent, I would say, half or just under half of what you've made in a month, you know? So, you really gotta, things like that, it's just not what you need to do. You know what I mean? It doesn't really fascinate me for things like that. I'm not really that interested, you know what I mean? Fucking ski resort, mate. Like, if I went to a ski resort, mate, I'd be one of those people that end up going down the wrong path, and then there'd be a fucking fat snow hole, mate. I'll go down there and suffocate myself to death. One of those fucking trees, mate. So, I skied before, you know, but it's not probably one of my things that I would say I'm great at. I was alright. You know what I mean? I did it in London one time. I've never been on actual... I went on actual snow in London. You're probably thinking, how the fuck's he done that? They got like this indoor fake... Well, real snow, you know, but it's like artificially made. They have an indoor snow ski centre in London. And I took out everyone on the lift. So there was basically... What happened, right? Is that, you know, I think someone said, Milo, let's get a video of you doing the skiing. And I was like, yeah, sick, mate, let's do it. So I seen that there was recording. I said, look, I'm going to do a quick one, mate. And so the lift is coming up on the right hand side and you start at the top. So I start at the top, I was going pretty fast, and then, you know, I was thinking, I was like, I'm going too fast here and I don't know how I'm going to be slowing down. So it didn't have enough time, so I decided to go right, and I went into the lift, mate, and I sprained my thumb, or my thumb dislocated or something. That was basically it. So I went into this like kind of fence area and then took a few people out on the lift. So I didn't really ski after that. Not really a fan of the cold, mate. What about you guys? Do you like the cold? Fuck the cold, mate. Fucking frosty cunt. Don't want to do that shit. You know, me and Scene, we've been in the UK for too long. We already know what the cold's like, mate. We don't want any more of that shit. Okay, so it'd still be fine at this point to shift lower in structure. You know, it's not a problem at all. Now, what would be a problem is if we see this. Because this would... So we're getting close to accumulation, but not quite. This would be accumulation. If then we shift after, that would be manipulation. So we can see a shift as of now, but if price draws higher and doesn't take buy stops and then shifts, that would be a point where price would then be in accumulation, which is potentially happening now. So it means we'd have to re-seek buy stops. Let's have a little look to the left. So we inverse the 15, which is bullish, towards the next high. Okay. See, the 15 almost went bearish there, but that's fine. So it goes bearish at buy stops, basically. So intraday's bullish and the daily's bullish. So, yeah, we do have a bullish bias here. Obviously, the daily's not going to change, is it? And then as far as the hourly, you can see it's not really changed unless we look to the left. No, so it can't be bearish out of that. Neither this one either. So basically it's just going to be bullish. And we do have a nice bullish bias, matter of fact. That is quite nice. So this would be more or less a continuation for longs if we was to see price take this low and then trade higher, because we got a bullish bias. Price is in a lower time frame premium. Well, it's a premium for London anyway, and it would just be sell stops, shift, draw higher, and then just continuation for longs. That's basically it. Who was that guy earlier saying about that PB takes loads of trades or something? Where has he gone? I think I had a question. I got a question for him. I don't know if he's still here. Is he gone? Nah, he's still got... Surely not. You can't just sit there and say you're unprofitable and then... Where is he? Brother, you there? Oh dear. He's offline. What? He literally said he was unprofitable. Why is he going offline? Oh my god. Oi, someone direct message him and just tell him he's gay. That's absurd. How can you say you're unprofitable and then just, you know, not turn up for the next macro? We're only here for an hour. I mean, we had a 30-minute break, so as soon as it ticks the 15, you don't have to be in the stream. And then for the next 30 minutes, okay, so, you know, and then we got a 5-hour break to the New York. And then we monitor the New York for an hour and a half. And then we got a little bit 30-minute window in the PM. He's on to the next Discord, yeah. He's seen in the first London macro, which is, I would say, a lower probability macro for price presenting opportunities because it's not volatile, right? He was like, nah, no trades, mate, no trades. I'm fucking out. So he probably went into, yeah, someone else's. I mean, holy shit. I was going to ask him the question of how long he's been in the group for. Because even if he was in the group for about 3 weeks, so you let's say you was here since, what, the 1st of January? You're up 7.3 hours, so you ain't fucking unprofitable, mate. I don't know what's going on with him. All of you guys' accounts, I mean, if you've been at least to the start of fucking January, you're going to be up into a profit. That's without a fucking doubt, mate. He tried to fake an eval account balance that wasn't even funded. Nah. What? What do you mean? How did he do that? Oh, is that it? Did Dr. Scene send it in? Is that it? Did he fake that? Where? What's this? Oh, he's actually done it. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, he's actually texted him he's gay. Yeah, because it's like, you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? Look at the screenshot. Oh, no, so he's done it as well. Oh, wow. Hopefully he comes back. You know, I want him to be profitable. I want him to tune in, but, you know, we're about to get a trade here, and he's just not even... It's a bit disappointing, really. You know, fuck that guy. So, we got shift on ES above the short-term high. We inversed an order block, which will be paired with a gap. Now, we got to see if we form a gap here. So the bias is bullish on the 5, and it's bullish on the 15. So that's fine. Now, with the Nasdaq shifting above the short-term high, it already has. We'd inverse the order block, and it's going to be paired with this gap. So if we get a gap, this would be an opportunity for longs with a stop at the low. So we're looking at a 7 handle stop. So it'll be a 15 micros. Alright. So we can see if we get an entry. Alright, that's an entry. Holy shit. It's meant to be a 40. There we go.
Order filled. Order filled.
Alright. And then a stop placement at the low, which would be there. So we set a it's meant to be on this one.
Order filled.
There we go. Alright, cool. So our stop, let's check that, is at 713.75. Right.
Order working.
Yeah, right, mate. The order's working. You don't need to fucking give me a heart attack. Alright, audio notifications, order notifications. Okay, let me turn that off because that's fucking loud as shit. That's why I usually turn them off, mate, because I place so many orders. Okay, so that first short-term high is TS. So when you're in a position, the only job as a trader, as you know, is to manage risk. That's basically it. So you have TS. That'll be to trail stops the previous low. So if we put in this low and take that high, then we trail. If not, then that's basically it. So hopefully that makes sense. As far as a flat 2 to 1, we're looking at this high for price. So that's a 1.9. So you'd run your objective here. It's in pretty close proximity, but that's basically it. So we're looking at 734.50. Okay, so that's going to be our overall objective. So that's where we trail. Okay, so make sure you trail to 719.75. So our risk is now pretty much reduced to break even 719.75, and then trail this one as well. 719.75. Okay, cool. Is it bang on 719.75? So we've reduced risk to around just under 20%. So you should be risking, I'm risking $30 and then 60 on scaled. How much are you guys risking? $22, $50? Okay. So TP to break even, you can see that we have a short-term high just put in. So this next short-term high for price is break even. Okay. So that was the first point to trail stops, and then this is the second high, which is break even. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. We'll either get an open risk of $30 to $60, or then we go break even, and then price should look to accelerate as of that point. So hopefully this makes sense. Yeah, some people risking $26, $30. Yeah. Simple stuff. Bit of coconut water. So that is break even. We just tapped the high. So you should be break even on all of your accounts now. So I'm reducing risk completely. I've got a break even at 72125. I've got a break even at 72075, and then a break even at 722. So hopefully that makes sense. So whatever your break even is at, you should have got a fill around 720, 721. This account here isn't the best fill because of the position size. It almost did 490 contracts. I would have fucking shat myself. I don't even think the broker would fill me on that, but that's fine. So that's basically it. 720.50. Yeah, so your break even would be at 720.50, and that's basically it. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, so it's basically just risk free. So I got break even on top step, break even there, and then also break even here as well. Flat and all. Yeah, so just a break-even trade. Make sure you cancel your limits. GN French said it didn't take him out yet. Yeah, I got taken out. I think my lowest entry was basically that. So that's the trade that we took in London. That's a break-even trade. So hopefully that made sense. And we would be done for London here, and we'd be waiting for the New York. So we got the 3 macros in New York, and then also the PM session as well. So it was good speaking with you guys. Obviously, I'll speak to you in the New York. We'll go live at 9:20 a.m. EST. Okay. A couple of you guys are still in. Okay. Alright, well, I'll speak to you guys shortly for the New York session. Take it easy. I don't really care. You know, number one is an SMT on the Nasdaq because ES took it about an hour ago, and all the Nasdaq takes it. You know, previous day high. Well, yeah, I mean, I call it previous session high because technically it's not previous day. You know what I mean? It's because of Sunday open, but it's like the previous session. Call it whatever is buy side. You know what I mean? Would you recommend to sell some ETF and get more prop firm accounts? What, some of your like stock portfolio? Do you have like a stock portfolio of ETFs or something? Yeah. Well, to be honest, brother, I mean, I wouldn't advise anyone goes like too heavy into accounts. Yeah, he said yes, stocks. I wouldn't advise anyone goes too heavy into accounts until you feel comfortable. You know, I don't want to tell you to go, you know, too deep into accounts if you're not actually confident in the model or you're not confident in your own executions, because at the end of the day it is down to you to execute the trade, and whether you copy and take the same trade as me whilst learning, then that's fine as well. But you know, you need to be confident in the model and understand certain things, just the simple things anyway. I mean, if you're only copying me, then you need to know the simple things. Alright, cool, I'm monitoring price, stops 25 points, and you're looking at the risk management sheet. That's basic stuff. But still, you need to do a lot of back testing, you know, and familiarize yourself with the model, so you don't have to ask any questions, and then you can start scaling up, you know. But a lot of people, they just rush into things. They rush into everything. Everyone rushes these days. That's why they don't get anywhere. Getting accounts. I mean, you know, another thing as well is that I see people come into Thailand and everything, and they fly and they say, "Wish me the best." You know, I'm flying Thailand, and I'm gonna make it, bro. Like, you know, all right, cool. You're filming your face on Instagram, yeah, but you don't have a skill. That's the problem. So these people be flying out, and they usually go to Bali. Hence why I hate the place. It's full of these, you know, leeches. They're like they're full-on leeches, you know. When you look at a ship and you see the guy scraping off the bottom, scuba diver, right? And you have these like little fucking little stones attached to the boat because it's been on the sea for a long time, you know. Barnacles, yeah. So that's what they are. You get all these leeches, and they leech on to anything they can get, you know. So they take. But that's the natural human trait, you know. And they want the easy route. They just want it to all be handed on a plate, and at the same time they got no skill and no plan. Money doesn't fall out the fucking sky, mate. I tried making money for years before I seen a fucking dollar. So these people think they can just fly Thailand, mate, and their money's going to drop out of the sky. No. Bali's shit, mate. It's a shit fest, full of Russians, alcoholics. No Jesus, mate. Nothing. You know, I actually despise the Westerners. I really do. I despise a lot of them. I think people like Japanese people, Chinese people, Singaporean people, probably Vietnamese people, are the nicest people in the world. And just places in like third world countries, you know, when they don't have as much money, or they haven't been westernized and cooked. Potentially places in... It depends where you go, really. I mean, you can go to third world countries like, let's say, is Brazil and Mexico and Colombia classed as third world anymore? I don't really know, but they're nice people to certain extents. So you got to be careful where you go, especially in Mexico. You don't want to go up north, but north or south. I can't remember where it was, but it gets very, very bad. But Mexico's good, you know. You are going to like it if you haven't been. I do suggest it. You know, you can actually hit Mexico, everything you need to see in about a week or 2 weeks. I recommend in Mexico. 2 weeks is great. Yeah, Mike said it was in, you know, Bali in 2019. I think since 2019, I think if you went back now, you think it's even more shit. It's definitely really got worse with social media. From what I've seen anyway, and from what I've heard from people who've gone there, it's just a bunch of, you know, Westerners walking around taking photos and they can't believe their eyes. Like, oh, wow, bro. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. The locals hate it. There's a bunch of running groups and gays. A bunch of people trying to do boxing and eat steaks and trying to be the alpha male man and all that shit. But they're still gay and they just can't hide the fact. And they're extremely broke. Holy shit, are they broke? A lot of people from the UK as well. It's a big trend in the UK, people going to Bali and everything, especially the ambitious broke ones. At least they're trying to make it change, but fucking hell, at least get a skill, mate. Half of these people don't have a brain. Sometimes I question to myself if the English language is even a fucking thing. I'd speak English sometimes and they'd come out with a whole different response. But like, holy shit, was you even listening? Yeah. No, I agree with your statement. Bali is a very nice place, but it's, you know, it's one of those places that got ruined, really. Now, you could also say the same about Phuket and Pattaya, but where I live in Pattaya is actually extremely clean. It hasn't. My side of Pattaya, where I stay, has not been destroyed by any tourists. It's very clean. It's actually up and coming. They're redoing the whole beach. They actually extended the beach a couple of years ago, and they've redone the whole road, pavements, everything, lining, the lines on the road and everything. And you don't get all of the bad tourists which do come to Pattaya, because there is bad tourists and there is Russians and there is there's quite a few Indians, especially when you go to like the main strips, the party areas. But the Indians, they can't afford to live on this part of Pattaya, even though it's not expensive at all. It's not at all. Extremely cheap. But the Indians, they live in different locations. They usually live in a specific location, actually. It's like it's almost like when you're in London, you have Chinatown, all the Chinese people are there, so it's similar like that, where they all kind of live in the same area, but it's also very cheap. But you don't really get the good quality Indians here, that's what you'll find. You get the ones that are a bit more degenerate and not... They fuck the place up a little bit, but that's why I don't really go out to the main strips. I don't like being around them type of people. I mean, they bring you fucking no benefit, and also in that environment, I don't like the environment anymore. Being around alcohol, I haven't drank alcohol in a long time. and I just fucked off smoking. So yeah, there's no value, and as soon as they were, I don't know, let's say they found out there was a value exchange, which is always going to be for them, 99.8% of the time, then they're just going to take. And I hate being around fake people and suckers. How is it with all the Israelis in Thailand? Israel. What, are they Jews? I haven't seen any Jews. I haven't actually seen a Jew here. No, I haven't. The only people you're going to get in Pattaya is English, Americans, and then you have a mixture of, young Americans but old Americans, retirement people. There is a lot of retirement people here. The retirement people are fine. I actually like the retirement people. Some of them, they can't stand my bike, but that's fair enough. I mean, they probably shit themselves when I fly past at 250. But, as I said, I treat them as, Isle of Man TT supporters, so I kind of like them. Someone said the hourly's gone bearish. I don't think it has. I mean, the hourly I've got down to be bearish at that point. Whereabouts would you have the hourly as bearish? I mean, I don't mind the Jews. I don't mind a lot of people, but when there's like, let's say, a group or a race of people that are generically bad or destroying a place, then I'd say it. I'm just realistic, I don't have a hate towards a certain race, but if someone is in a place where I'm staying, and I'd racially profile them if it's a group of them, which racially profiling, let's say people in Pattaya would be Indians destroying the place, which people know already that they don't put their rubbish in the bin, and they have destroyed a few of the main beach sometimes anyway, and generically just not hygienic. That's why their country stinks and the pollution's bad. But if it was English people, I'd say the same. It's the same thing. I mean, it's just being realistic. I'm not walking down the street with a poster chanting, saying "fuck Indians." I'm just being realistic. That's what it is, really. But I mean, everywhere's like that. They all got their pros and cons. I mean, if you go to, London now, it's what. Well, it's the fucking same. I mean, to be honest, it is a kind of a worldwide takeover that they are doing, but yeah. But yeah, apart from that, I mean, Pattaya's great. It's got loads of different places that you can go, which a lot of people don't know about. Private beaches, islands. Yeah, exactly. Right, so we can actually have a relook at the bias here. So previously we had the 5 as neutral, but we know that's actually ticked to be bearish. So that's fine. And then on the 15, we had it previously as bearish, but that was an older bias. So to still stand as bearish, it would have to have traded to 848. Yeah. So it is still bearish. Ralph said that the hourly was bearish. Ralph, where have you got the hourly to be bearish? What imbalance on what date and what time did you get it down to be bearish? Yeah, the 1 hour's neutral. It only goes bearish once we trade to that area. 4 hour time frame. Obviously, we know it got inversed. Let's see. Okay, so the 4 hour draw is going to be towards 6 AM on the 16th. So that's our bias. That's what we got. So it is bearish. 4 hours going to be bullish. Now a question that some people might ask is why the 4 hour isn't neutral. Because we inversed the gap and it closed, but it already took the high. So it took the high and then closed and then inversed. So now it needs to take the high, or it needs to trade into a bearish gap to change the bias from neutral, from bullish. So the draw is still higher on the 4 hour towards this area, and then it would essentially have met the draw. So yeah, I mean, you know, we still look for shorts now, so that's fine. We've got until 8:03 for price to displace, which is okay, but this candle would have to close and put in this short-term low, and then we can see a shift in structure straight after that. I mean, if we try to shift structure right now, yeah, same for ES, so it'd be a bit difficult. Because this is the first failed shift in structure, this would be the second attempt, so this second attempt would have to succeed, otherwise it would return back to buy stops. Yeah, so this will actually be a very good opportunity for the Nasdaq to shift structure. So we'll see if that is the case. So MGD said ES 15-minute bullish right now. What kind of reference does that have to the Nasdaq? ES equal highs. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think you guys are just pulling things out of the sky now. You just got to chill out. You know, it is quite boring. I know you want to type something in the chat, but it's just one of those ones, you know. What's the entry model on the account since we're bored? I don't even know what to say to you, brother. What do we say to him? No one's bored. I mean, if you are bored, you can read through it, because I've written it out. So everything you need is in the Discord. You know what I was actually thinking today? Do you guys think this will be pretty good? Is that I'll have an introduction channel which every single person that is in the group must watch, and it'll be a 2-minute tutorial on what's in the Discord. So I'll be like, okay, so this is the crypto section. This is the checklist. This is the risk management. This is the 2-day pass. Because it's almost like people are not reading this information. It's so fucking important. You know, 2-day pass, checklist, account management. Because I get questions saying, bro, how do I manage an account with end of day drawdown and trailing drawdown, bro? Same shit. Okay, $1,500, boom, boom. Okay, scaling plan. Bro, how do I make money like you, bro? It's on the fucking scaling plan, mate. You ain't gonna make money like me off the bat. Okay, I've been fucking at this for years. But yeah, you're gonna be making 20,000 a trade after the scaling plan. So you'll at least be making, you know, you'll be up to 70, 80k a month. Okay? And then you're going to get more accounts, and then you'll be up to 100, you know, so you're already there. You're already at a good point. Prop firms, how do you start from $1,000 or whatever the fuck you want to start with? It's there. What else? Questions, general chat. Backtesting, ICT Fanatic, that's all pre-recorded videos, so all the information you need. I've taken hundreds and hundreds of trades. You know, backtest the whole of 2025, it's all there. What else? Crypto channel, I'm in a Bitcoin short, as you guys know. Been in that for a few months. So we have this Maverick channel, but I think Maverick fucking died, so I'm going to delete it. Right, I deleted the Maverick channel. It looks a bit cleaner now. I think he fucking died, so we got rid of that. That was just, there was some discipline at the start, but then it kind of fell off. The crypto channel, and then real estate. Real estate, you know, I even told you guys what apartments I've bought. I've hooked you up with the agents as well. I gave you their WhatsApp number, so that's all there. We're getting a shift in the NASDAQ. Let's have a little look at ES. Okay. So now it's getting a bit interesting, isn't it? So we got a bullish order block and we just inversed it. So that's going to be a breaker. Let's see if we get a gap here. We got a shift on ES. If we have a little look at the 5, you can see the 5's going to be bearish. So that's fine. And then the 15... is going to be bullish. So as you can see here, the 15 has fucked the bias, because the 4 hours bullish, and this right here, my brothers, would not be a short that you would take. So the 15's bullish. That's basically it. So we don't have a conviction of a bearish bias as we did previously. So the 15's bullish from the unfilled imbalance on ES. Unfilled imbalance on ES got filled, and on the NASDAQ. So it's a bullish SMT between imbalances, which puts the 15 bullish on the NASDAQ, because ES is trading out of it. Bullish gap, not bearish, bullish. So CEY said trading out of a 15-minute bearish gap. Yeah, but we're trading out of a bullish gap is the most recent trade. Did you hear me? I don't know if my audio's on for CEY, but yeah. Yeah, it's not a valid short. I won't be participating in this short. Four hour is a neutral. We spoke about that already, because I knew someone was going to ask that question. Did you not hear me speak about that? I literally said, I know someone's going to ask this question. Let me explain it before someone asks the question. You just asked the question again, so. That one's a bit bonkers to ask that one, mate. Reverse a... Oh. on ES, the 4 hour is actually neutral. I mean, you know, whether the 4 hours neutral or bullish, it doesn't affect the bias. I mean, it's going to be a neutral bias or it's going to be a bullish bias. Either way, I'm not taking shorts, you know. But if I look at the 4 hour, let's have a look. Exactly what have you got as a reference to make the 4 hour go to being neutral? I don't understand. Well, I completely understand. I don't understand your point of view. Oh, so you didn't mean the 4 hour. Oh, the 15. Oh, okay. So what exactly have you got the 15 to be neutral? So ES already preempted trading into the unfilled, which is a bullish SMT on the Nasdaq. 16th bearish gap. Yeah. So I already had that. That's why it was bearish. And then the most recent trade-in. Do you guys not see this? You know, the price action's moving on ES. No. So a bearish gap on ES isn't. It's not going to affect. I don't know what you're looking at here on ES. I mean, like, we're talking about this bullish gap. So this is the unfilled 15-minute. ES traded into it before NQ. So this is bullish on the Nasdaq on the 15. It's bullish on the 4 hour. And we're bearish on the 5. That's not a sufficient bearish bias. So if price forms a bearish bias, you know, then we would take a position. But did you get confused on that, or what's going on there? I don't know about that one. Thursday 15th, 2 p.m. we have a 15-minute bearish gap. I don't know. We had a 15-minute bearish gap. You're right. It's to the left. But the most recent trading was the bullish gap. Okay, so the 15-minute bearish gap. So the one that you're talking about is this one. This is the only one that you can take, because this has already been inverse. We already know that. So now when we look at the 15, I mean, guys, what do you not understand about this? This is such simple stuff. We're talking find X again. You know what I mean? So the 15 was bearish. I didn't have it marked out because I'm not a fucking bot. And it was bearish. ES trades into on this leg. The unfilled 15 to be bullish. So now the 15's bullish on the shift. But because people, when they're new, when price is shifting structure, they're also shitting their pants at the same time, because they're so eager to take a trade. They're forgetting about the bias. So on that shift, I knew that we was trading in the 15, so I had a little flick. I seen that the 15 was bullish from the unfilled, and the 4 hours bullish. I think a lot of you guys' questions would be answered if you closed the chat and just listen to the backtest. Yeah. I mean, we backtested on the weekend, didn't we? On Sunday. We didn't really talk about, you know, rocket science, but we answered a lot of questions that needed to be answered, you know, and we also talked about the 2-day pass. That someone said, if I'm bored or we're bored, then why don't we talk about the 2-day pass? I mean, I went over it in full detail for those of you that couldn't even understand a step-by-step guide. And now you fully understand it, and now people pass the counts. And I mean, they already understood it anyway. If you're from the UK or the US, then you're going to be able to read it. But some people are from, you know, fucking Italy and these different places, mate. But yeah. Yeah, we do go live every Sunday as well, you know. We do go live every Sunday. Yeah. That's what we do. we have a business chat, we have a talk. We've already explained what days we're trading this week and what days we aren't trading this week, because there is a day that we aren't trading this week. You guys should already know that. You know, a few different questions, bit of business. You know, even on the Sunday, we can talk about real estate and taxes as well, and off-topic things, you know, which we don't mind speaking about then, because we got a bit of time. Almost bearish on the daily. Let's have a little look. So what exactly on the daily is going to be almost bearish? Well, that's a fucking confusing one, that. We're nowhere near a bearish gap, which would be this one. We're talking, how many points is that? 300 points. So that's not even in close proximity. The daily to be neutral is already neutral anyway. Daily going bullish, absolutely fucking not. The daily has been trapped in a range for weeks. It fucking certainly has, and it's been fine for us, hasn't it? You know, me and Jack, we've been trading at all-time highs. We've been trading at ranging price action. So we was monitoring price in October when it was at all-time highs. All these different periods, you know. So it doesn't matter where price is trading at. Yeah. You know, one thing as well is that you're going to see sometimes, but they would be stupid people. So they would take trades like this, let's say, and they would take a short, let's say, and then if price traded to this low, okay, with the probable scenario that this is the probable scenario, they might say, nice 2R, bro. Fucking spin around their chair a few times. Have a little look at the wall. And then when this happens, the probable scenario, they shit themselves because they blew their accounts. You know. So that's what happens. Yeah, they might start an Instagram, they might start trying to be some sort of influencer, or a video of their face with price action in the background saying, you know, and they'd really zoom in, they'd say this was the New York session today, you know, and they'd be like, you know, the New York session today, bro, it was just like this, bro, it was so choppy, bro, just had no direction, you know, it ran 150 points, mate, shut the fuck up, you know what I mean? So after every consolidation, there's usually 95% of the time a run on price, okay? And matter of fact, we're talking 658 to 850. That's 200 points. That is a lot of fucking money, mate. Even after London session, after we finished up our work there and we got break even, we did take a trade in London. Yeah, we did, and it was break even. So the only thing that we're out of pocket on is broker fees. So it'd be like, you know, whatever broker fees is for each 50k account and whatnot. Pretty nice London, but that was obviously after. It is still January PA, that's why. Well, I would agree. January doesn't usually perform like this. This is an outlier month. But as I said, you can't flip a penny and say what side it's going to land on. It's the same of any month of price action through the year. Which month this year is going to be our biggest month? I don't fucking know. Which month's going to be our worst month? We're going to have a losing month. I'm fucking pretty certain about it. I'm pretty certain we're going to lose 5 trades as well at one point. Pretty certain we'll probably have about 7 or 8 winning trades in a row at one point. It's all fucking probable. you remember that guy from the London session that he was saying that he was in multiple discords or something? Well, imagine the amount of, you know, let's say 2022 mentorship traders that took that short. That is the 2022 model. But our bias filtered it out. So just a simple bias. It wasn't even anything to do with, let's say, an invalidation low. Because from what I can see here, it didn't get invalidated as far as invalidation lows. It didn't. So ES obviously shifted. We've got 1, 2. That's the invalidation low, but it's equal invalidation. So that's not invalid. That's fine. But the bias filtered this trade out. So when we look at this, every trader took that. Obviously, we're completely outside of macro. I know we kind of waffled on a little bit, so I'll mute my mic until, say, 35, and then we'll kind of look at our bias. Oh, did he actually? I don't think we saw that guy again, did we? Where is he? I don't know what they do, mate. Maybe he is here, I don't know. I hope he does well, mate. He seemed a bit lost. He got annihilated, yeah. But he asked stupid questions, you know. Sometimes it's always like, it's the same anywhere, you know. If you sit at a table with people maybe you don't know that well, but you know they're in a position which you want to acquire, and you just open your mouth, sometimes that can be the end of a lot of business. And, you know, he asked, I can't even remember what he asked, but it kind of threw me off guard a little bit. That was it. He started asking about other influencers and, you know, talking about people in Miami and shit. I was like, brother, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? He didn't like being called gay. He's probably in the wrong group then. We even got the fucking gaydar on the Discord now, mate. That's sick. Fucking gaydar. Shoot off some fucking missiles, mate. Yeah, 50 trades in a day is pretty diabolical. I'll speak to you guys in 10 minutes. I'll unmute my mic. I'm going to figure out if I can get a quick meal in, you know. Bit of bulk, bit of bulk. Alright, fucking listen up, Wojaks, mate. Let's have a little look at the bias. So on the 5, obviously we're bullish. That's pretty obvious, isn't it? That was easy. Caps, please. Right, so we already know what the hourly is. Hourly's neutral, mate. The 4 hour still bullish. So the daily's done, the 4 hours done, hourly's done, 5's done, 15. You know, what's going on with the 15? Well, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. What is going on with the 15 doesn't really matter. Well, it would be bearish, wouldn't it? That's the most recent trading, is the 15 to be bearish. So, can we get a bearish bias? Abso-fucking-lutely. Now, how can we get a bearish bias? Well, it's from the 5, isn't it? So, in 2 minutes, we inverse the 5. That would cause a bearish bias on the 5, which is good. So, now when we're on the lower time frame here, and we look at price, yes, absolutely correct. We do need to look at the 5 closely. So, an inverse on the Nasdaq on the 5, it would result in a potential opportunity, because as of now there's no opportunity, regardless of even if there was a bearish bias. That's a failed shift lower on the Nasdaq. Let's delete that. I'll delete this as well. I mean, I don't want it there. Bit of sell side, bit of sell side. New York open low. That's basically it. So if we close this candle here in 19 seconds below this low, that would be a confirmed shift on the Nasdaq. We have a shift on ES. First low, second low. IV is down here. Pretty obvious, right? First low, second low, third low on the Nasdaq. So you can mark IV. Now in 1 minute's time, we're getting a closure of the 5. Now you're probably thinking, where's our entry going to be? It's going to be this bearish order block, which essentially would be in start of macro, but we need to look at the 5. That's something that we're going to be looking at. So let's say we inverse the 5, we would take an entry straight away short, okay, as long as we don't take IV. So let's mark that. One sec. So IV like that. Our entry would be straight away off the order block. A stop placement at the swing, 40 points, and we're looking for a flat 2 to 1. That's not enough, so we get it from there. So 40 points. Let's have a little look. Gives us 4. Yeah, so that's a short. 26. Alright. So we'd run a stop placement at the high, which is at, let's get a pretty exact result, 878. So that's where we'd run our stop. That's basically it. Like that. 878. Yeah, 878. Cool. And then our TP at 760. $760.25. Alright, cool. So hopefully that makes sense. Basically that's the trade for the second A macro. Clean shift in structure. We inversed an order block on the Nasdaq paired with the gap, and we took that entry short off the order block. Basically the 5 obviously got inversed, which is now obviously bearish on the 5, and then we was bearish on the 15. So the overall bias is bearish, and that's pretty much it. So as far as managing risk, we'd mark that short-term low, and you could label it as TS, like that. So that's where we would trail stops, and that's your only job, is to manage risk. We took 5-minute swing low. What do you mean? How's that even possible? We inverse the gap, so it's going to be bearish. The same as the 4 hour. So when the 4 hour inversed the bearish gap to the left, and it already took the high, it took the high and then inversed. Does that make sense? So it took the low and then inversed. So the bias on the 5 is bearish towards the swing low, if that makes sense. So Max is saying about that we're also in a 5-minute bearish gap. That's got no context to taking the trade. I mean, you guys are just pulling stuff out of the sky again. So you take the position, your only job's to manage risk. So you're thinking about everything under the sun apart from managing risk. Okay, so you're thinking about completely the wrong things. So our only job as of now is that as long as, well, I assume that you've set your stop, that's it. So at TS you look to trail to previous high, and then you can look at 50%, which I got my eyes on this low here, would be where I go break even, or price runs to stop. That's it. That's obviously the two scenarios. So this scenario, that's out of your control. There's nothing that you're going to be able to manage your position or anything, you know. So that's simple stuff. I mean, is the Nasdaq going to take us out, or is it going to... It's playing around, mate. There we go, that's definitely us out, surely. Yeah. Holy shit, trade sinker, mate. Takes its time, doesn't it? There you go. Alright, cool. So you should be out of that trade. That'll be a flat -1R. So on the month, right now, we're sat at 6.3R. Okay. So we peaked at 8.6, and now we're at 6.3. That's basically it. That'll be the trade for the second A macro, and now you just basically wait for the lunch. So we'd monitor the lunch and then monitor the PM session, and yeah, that'll basically be it. So make sure you stay on top of your drawdown as well. It's very important, because, you know, at this point, especially people whose drawdown is trailing behind in the early stages, after, say, you know, 2R, so we peaked at 8.6, right? So that's like 2R from the peak. So you'd be sat around, you know, 1500 or below 1500 now. That's where you would go to half size, but you need to work that out on your own drawdown. It's specifically down to each user, you know. So you'd be risking 150 until you get back to 80%, if that makes sense. But on a live account, you're still going to risk the exact same. Your live's going to risk the same. You don't half size on a live account. Yeah, I've burnt 13 Apex XFA because of trailing drawdown. How's that possible? That's not even possible, mate. Bands of stocks. Why not size up? Size up what? Who are you talking to? I don't know. Who's the question to? Me. I'm on 1.7k, and let me put my glasses on 1 sec. I'm on 1.7k, so still full size until I drop below 1.5. Yeah, so on 1.7 I would stay at full size, yeah. Only if you actually get to around, if you're on 1500 or you're below it, then yeah, you should then be on that, on half size. Yeah. Milo, can you explain one more time about the 5-minute swing low? Because we did shift and it took that before returning to the gap. Right, so, you know, this is the same thing. It's only in scenarios when we're taking a trade that someone has to ask so many different questions. So the same as the 4 hour earlier, that no one ever, they don't really blink an eye, but it's always when we're in a trade, someone's going to ask every question under the sun. So on the 4 hour, right, which has actually just gone neutral, matter of fact, when we inversed, the bearish gap, and price closed, already took the high. It closed, it already took the high, but it took the high and then closed, so it's still bullish, hence why the 4 hours traded bullish, right, towards this area for price, and now it's neutral. So it's bullish towards this high, and now it's met the draw. So when we look at the 5 of what happened here, is that the 5 had taken the 5-minute swing and then closed and inversed, which is bearish towards this low. Hence why I had this area for price as interest, as I knew this would be the 5-minute draw, break even, overall objective. Does that make sense? So that's what we explained already before, it's just a different time frame. Yeah, so all you guys got to do is look at your drawdown, whether it's trailing, intraday trailing, dog trailing, rat trailing, it doesn't matter. You just got to look at your drawdown and it's a number, and then you manage your risk accordingly. That's the only job you got to do. And most of you guys are just copying my trades anyway. Most of you guys don't even bother learning. So just manage your drawdown, and that's all you got to do really. So if you see a 1500 or you're below it, then you're on half size. And how do I know that most of you guys don't bother learning? Is because on Sundays, when we do a talk, on a Sunday when most people are sat there drinking fucking tea, no one really turns up for it, about 50 people. You know, when we backtested the whole of 2025 and we put all that work in, people come up to me in the gym, or let's say people would fucking speak to me in different places, and they want to make money, bro. They want this, they want that. But they can't turn up for the education. No, that's fucking boring, mate. Or they won't turn up on the Sunday to ask the question that they need to ask. But when I'm in a trade, they're going to say, but bro, what about this? Do you see the problem with that? Big issues. Yeah, so Jams, what happened to your Apex accounts is diabolical and completely your fault. So that's complete self-accountability there. You need to, I think you already know it, but those accounts shouldn't have got blown. And you just said they just got blown, so you clearly didn't look at your drawdown. You would be at half size. So Apex actually has an intraday, as everyone knows. I mean, how many fucking times do people need to say it? So intraday, who gives a shit, right? It's a 2.5k drawdown on a 50k. Right, so you're going to manage the 2.5k, and as soon as it drops below 1500, you would have went half size. And from our peak of this month of 8.6 to where we're at now, which is 6.3, is 2R, which is $600, right? So on a trailing drawdown, to most of you guys still building your accounts, let's say, anyway, you'd now be at 1500, or most of you guys, I would assume you'd be on half size, unless you already have scaled accounts, then you're fine. So $600 wouldn't blow your Apex. So what the fuck happened there? You must have taken some of your own trades. Your tits fell off, mate, really. We haven't really heard of one of those. I didn't think Jams was really capable of such thing, but you know. Yeah, he lost them. We're going to wait for the lunch macro. For checking drawdown, all you got to do is go on Tradeovate and you click the drop down. You know where your balance is. You click your drop down. Max drawdown, it's going to say it. You just got to hover over it, and it's there. So you got to log in on. Yeah. All right. So I'll speak to you guys obviously in the lunch macro. Yeah, so one of my best Januaries I would say would be, you know, about 2.5 or 3R. Don't really get more than that, so we're currently at 6.3. So I would say that I'm very impressed with this month, to be honest. Yeah. Alright, cool. So I'll speak to you guys at 11:35 before the lunch. Wait, one sec. Hassan said, I think you already said this before, after the last minus 0.3 hour, but I joined here on Wednesday with the longest losing streak, and now the streak is complete. I don't know. Probably take another loss, mate, or wherever winning. I don't know. You know, maybe the dog's gonna die, or maybe I'll throw a cat off the balcony. But yeah, it's one of those ones. To be fair, you know, you did join after 6 winning trades, so I don't really know what you could expect in January. It was up 8.6R, fucking money flying out of my ass. But yeah, now we're up 6.3. Yeah, you need to give it, you know, a bit of time. To be honest, Hassan, if you actually was in the group from January of 2025, I guarantee you would have quit. You would have left, mate. Yeah, you would have left. Those first 6 months, you would have only been up about 7, 8R. First 6 months of 2025. You'd be spinning in your chair, brother. Yep. You would have had, up by the end of March, you would have got 8R. You'd be up about, you know, 9R at Q1. And then Q2 was very slow. Had a losing April. And then the other months. And then August hit. And then October hit. And December. And the other months. Are you keeping track of your risk reward entirely by, or splitting it by London and New York? Well, as of now, for this month, I'm keeping it in my head. I'm keeping it in track in my head, really. Can I make a recap of January? That's too much receding, to be honest. We recap it every week, so, you know, just Sunday we recap the whole of last week. So we've recapped the whole of January. If you just turn up each weekend and tune in for our boring backtesting, then you've done the whole of January. And we do the whole year, essentially. We do it every weekend. You know. So the January, you know, performance sheet. So our January performance, so you can see how much fucking money we made this month. It's going to be out, obviously, at the end of the month. So that's when I collect all of my trades, get it all together. I put it on the sheet. And that's basically it. You can see that on the yearly P&L. So the last month was obviously December. And then you can see November. And then you can see October. Now it only starts from October because that's when we actually started trading live again. I was stopped trading live from March of 2025 because there were so many dumb fucking questions. So I just needed a bit of peace of mind. But now we're back. I have peace of mind. And we're here to fucking take over all of it, mate. So it's all good. So Kevin said, I joined since 10/22. What's that? 10/22. Is that the 22nd of October? Learn a lot of patience and discipline. First 2 months I still fuck up myself. No more blown accounts since mid-December. Yeah, just thanks C4, mate. I will find a cat, don't worry. Yeah, so, you know, one thing I will say to you as well, you can follow my trades, but you can still be a fucking loser. You can still blow your fucking accounts. I know you guys do. There is a few people here, you know, they're fucking blowing accounts behind the screen. They can't help themselves, you know, they're like fucking... Well, I don't even know if there's a name for it, to be honest. Like vultures, mate. So, you can't help them, really. I mean, ever since we started going live again in October, we had an 8R, and then we lost 4R, So yeah, obviously you joined in what, 22nd of October. So you missed basically all of the winning trades in October, and then you caught one or two winning. No, you only caught one winning trade. I'm pretty sure in October. So you was probably sat there, you know, probably a bit buzzing. And then we had a losing month in November. So you probably shat the bed and blew all your accounts. And then in December it was a winning month, and you didn't get any of it because you blew your accounts. And now you're working back in January. We don't know. The rest is a rumour whether you've caught January or not. I'd fucking hope so. But you know, you said you started. You know, anyone who started in October has been paid out. October, November, you'd lose a little bit. You got December and January. Yeah. Right, I'm gonna have a cheat meal. You know, I'm gonna have. Well, it's not essentially a cheat meal. 10 eggs. So I'll speak to you guys in a sec. Alright, so whilst I was making my mass gainer shake and 8 eggs, well, I've made the 8 eggs, we've got breaking news. So we've got Hassan here. He wants to get a refund. So I've refunded him. And he's getting banned. So you can't join back again. You're banned. So, confirm. So he's done. Yeah, Hassan, he didn't last long, did he? He joined on Wednesday after 6-7 winning trades, and he's wondered why we've taken a loss. Well, I'll tell you what's happened to Hassan, brother, is that he has indeed been refunded, but very shortly getting banned. Unfortunate event. You don't want to be banned from this group because there is no returns. Alright, bye bye Hassan. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, he cut his own legs off, mate. So Hassan is banned, and he's been refunded, mate. He's out. So I'm gonna finish off my 8 eggs. And guys, by the way, quick bulking tip: it's not only just chocolate milk that will help you put on the weight. It's actually this little special technique that I use. You use the blender. You blend the oats, and when you blend oats, it turns into like a flour. You put the oats with peanut butter, milk, a banana, 2 scoops of protein powder. What else do you put in there? Oh, and then the very important ingredient is the mixed frozen berries. I'll speak to you guys in a sec anyway. So I'll speak to you guys about 35... Yeah, so 7 minutes for the lunch. Right, let's take a look at the lunch macro here, see what's going on. One thing I'll tell you guys as well, very, very important stuff. For those of you that are trading on a live account, it is very important that you change your ratio on TradeSyncer. Okay, because I forgot to do this, I think, one time in the past. It only happened like one time, but basically, as of now, I had to change my lead because I had to change it from the Apex lead to a different account. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're running the least risk account as your lead. So I've changed it to one of the newer accounts that I've acquired more recently, and I'm running those as the lead, risking 150 per trade. And then everything else that is risking 300 per trade is on a 2x. Everything else that's essentially risking, 600 a trade, that's obviously on a 4x. And then I've got live accounts following that as well, which is the second live, and that's on a crazy X number, as you can imagine. and then the top steps are there. So, and the top steps are there as well. So basically, it's just very important that you manage the ratio on the live, that you're always risking the same. Okay, very important. And if you're not trading on a live account, don't really know what you're doing. If you don't have enough money to start the live, completely understandable. Okay, but if you do have, you know, as I always say, once you get to 38 accounts, after 38 accounts, then you start building the live. So until you have 38 accounts, then you can start building live, and you start putting money into live. The benefit of live is that you never have to half size, ever. So you just risk 4% of the live balance, and that's basically it. Holy shit. Let's see this. I think I just received an email. Oh. Important platform update, maintenance, Project X migration. What is this? What? Oh no. That's not from Top 7, that's from Top 1 Futures. I got confused. Right, that's fine. Right, so failed shift on ES. Bias is bearish? Not quite. So the 5 is actually bullish right now, and as you see on the 15, we are bearish. The whole higher time frame's neutral, so it's all down to intraday. Now we only go bearish when we inverse the 5. So you can essentially just sit on the 5 until it gets inversed, and then we get a bearish bias. So as far as price forming a model, let's have a little look at price. You know, let's delete that. And what's that? That was the 5-minute bearish gap. That was the 15-minute bearish gap. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, so basically you just wait for the 5 to be inversed. We get a bearish bias intraday. So as far as a model, we swept buy side. That's not a shift, that created a low. Price went to shift below this low and failed. And that's the second failed shift. So we're likely going to seek buy stops. So that's the likely scenario. We got buy stops, and then we got buy stops again at this high for price. So that's essentially the way it works. 2 failed shifts equals a reseek of liquidity more times than not. We'd be interested in these lows if we do form a bearish bias. As of now, we're neutral. That's basically it. Milo, isn't the daily chart bearish? I don't really understand why some of you guys are saying that the daily's bearish. I'm so confused. We don't have any sort of bearish gap that price is trading out of on the daily at all. Matter of fact, the only thing that you confuse the only way that you could confuse the daily bias is that you could confuse it to being bullish, to say that we inversed the gap, but ES took the high, we already know that. Milo 15 is bullish. I used magnet tool to get precise box for the bearish 15. It clearly inversed. So it inversed on candle open, which I would agree that is also an inverse. So the 15, you are correct in saying, it's basically just the candle open. So essentially it didn't technically inverse, but from price trading from this candle close to then this candle open, that little tick right there, actually, yeah, technically it did inverse it. So you are right in saying with the 15 to be bullish. can't get any sort of bias on the 15. It doesn't even trade into that old 15. So that's where the 15 would actually go to being bearish at that point. But as of now, we'd have we'll see a bullish 15. As far as the 5, potentially got inversed, which would be bearish on the 5. And then we got bullish on the 15. I don't know why I can't. Give me that fucking... Give me that shit, mate. So yeah, it's a neutral bias. So when you look at the Nasdaq as of now, we got a failed shift 1 time, 2 times, and the 3rd time, this is going to be, you know, it's the 3rd shift, which is always extremely invalid, and also a failed shift on ES and a neutral bias. So that's so far we've seen in the lunch. Joe Bobby said we inverse the 5. Yeah, but it's like, you know, can you guys like read the bias of what we have? You know, whether the 5's bearish or bullish or neutral, it really doesn't change the bias. Yeah. Yeah, this mass gainer shake is fucking amazing. I've been making this for years, and I don't feel carved up in the gym. I don't feel like I'm putting on weight if I don't have it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. You know, majority of questions definitely is a microwave brain. Oh yeah. Totally fucking agreed, mate. I had someone one time ask me how to mark a fair value gap. Can you believe that? I can. Yeah, so you know, with the Q&A sessions, I've got a lot more patience. And I'm more than willing to answer any sort of question that, you know, people are trying to learn, you know. And I know that. Once I didn't even know what a gap was, you know. So I don't want to sit here and have a cocky persona, right? But the only thing that I do want to say is that when we are trading live, especially sometimes when we're coming very close to an entry or we're in a trade, we just get a bunch of questions which could have been asked on Sunday on Q&A. You know, that's the time to learn. Not when you're actually, you know what I mean, you're in business. Yeah, that was probably one of the highlights. Yeah, when buy or sell signal, please. We had that the other day. I think, did he get banned? I think I banned him, didn't I? Oh yeah, no, he got banned, yeah. Yeah, Umpar. Oh yeah. He was cooked though. I really I stood the test of time of him, to be honest. You know, I sat through London session. No, matter of fact, you know, Umpar actually affected my health. He caused me to relapse on cigarettes because I was so stressed with his questions. I had to start smoking cigarettes again. And then I sat back, I was like, right, first of all, let's ban Umpar, get rid of his ass. And I threw the cigarettes off the balcony. I said, whoa, 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 I'm not going back on this track, mate. So, you know, here we are. It was Umpar's fault. It was quite stressful. He actually stressed you guys out as well, not only me. Even reading his questions was fucking stressful. Yeah. We don't smoke cigars. We don't smoke shisha. We smoke nothing, mate. Nothing. I don't believe in smoking anymore. I used to believe in it. Don't believe in it anymore. I used to actually think that I had to operate with smoke. I believed it made me more, what do you call it? More hyper focused. I was like locked in the zone. But now I've started to come to a realization that it's all big one facade, an excuse. Whoa, no, you guys. So I think you took my my smoking quitting a bit too far. Trust me, in the future, if there's a very nice shisha available, I will be smoking it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna be all of the time. And to be honest, in the future, I'm gonna put the shisha off as much as possible. But if there's an occasion and everyone's getting shisha, then of course I'll get a shisha too. But I'm just gonna be at the point where I'm just not smoking at all, you know. Because I was more every single day. You know, I'd have like 5, 6 a day. So it's now it's just nothing. And then if in the future, let's say in 6 months, there's a random shisha in a place that I'm at, then I'm not going to be gay. Let's say that. One of the benefits, really, to do with not smoking at shisha, cigars, whatever you do, is that you're going to find that you have more energy, massively, and your skin gets better, everything, really. So that's why I fucked it off, really. Because what it does, right, it gives you that temporary boost of energy, just like a Red Bull does. But then you have all of those toxins floating through your system, your heart's all cooked, you know. Shisha, what's the point? Shisha, well, to be honest, it is my favourite form of smoke. You know, smoking shisha is the most favourite because it's not a vape, so it's not gay. What are you smoking? Essentially, you're smoking, you know, I believe it's tobacco, but it's coal. So, essentially, you got coal at the top, which is above the tin foil, and then below the tin foil, you actually have what you smoke, which is I believe it's a flavoured tobacco. It's a flavoured tobacco that's, you know, let's say you order grape, then they mix it with, you know, grape, whatever they do, right? And then, yeah. No, brother, it's called shisha. It's not hookah. I know why you say hookah. Obviously, you're from the US, but when I actually went to the US and someone said, "Let's get some hookah," I thought they said hookahs, you know. So it's always going to be shisha, brother. It's always shisha. Yeah, most people do call it hookah, but I feel like shisha's easier to say. You know what I mean? Let's get a little quick shisha. Must be a Europe thing, yeah. Yeah, because when I was in Morocco, I was in Tangier, and I was staying in the Hilton, and they had a shisha on the rooftop. And I said, "Can I get shisha?" They said, "Oh yes, brother, you want shisha?" I was like, "Yeah." So I'm pretty sure it's because they didn't say it was hookah there, you know. Hookah is Jewish. Holy shit, you Jews! You're Jewish, mate. I've caught all of you. You hookah smoker Jewish people, mate. You've been exposed. Because when you're in Dubai, they say in the Arabic accent, "Do you want a shisha?" You know. But anyways, I mean the shisha topic's pissing me off. It's going on for a bit too long here. But yeah, that whole cigar smoking and all that shit fucked it off. I see it as a challenge as well. It's like, I was sat there thinking, I was like, no, I couldn't live without it. And I thought, who the fuck am I to not live without a bit of smoke? So I thought, that's gay. You know, so that's why I took it as a challenge, really. I was like, you know, my brain's saying that we kind of need this. And I was like, the fuck? You know, we need this shit. So that's why I got rid of it. Now, you know, things like, I've made other changes as well, like, say, a few months ago as well. I used to drink, as you guys know, I used to promote Red Bulls. I used to be the biggest promoter of Red Bulls C4s. Not C4, but I'm talking about actual energy drink C4s and Red Bulls. I used to drink them all the time. And I haven't drank one in months. I'm talking like 4 or 5 months. I stopped taking them. They're so bad for you, it's unbelievable. They spike you to the moon. And the C4s, well, to be honest, the C4s are so powerful that they spike me the whole day and my heart doesn't stop. Eventually it will come a point that you do have a heart attack. I have done that many times. I have done C4s, cigars and coffee all in one day. And it's good to sit there and think, oh yeah, you know, this is sick. You know, I've got so much energy, everything, I'm doing all the work. But no. You're not a sick cunt, mate. Your diet's shit. Your body's falling apart. You shouldn't need C4s and energy drinks, because you get addicted to it. Countless times in the past that I'll be tired. And I only got addicted to C4s when I was younger because I'd finish a job like construction or warehouse. I'll get barely any sleep, monitor to New York, and then have to hit the gym as well somehow. I'll be knackered. I needed a C4. But that's because your body's going beyond the limits. Eventually you're going to have a heart attack. Once you get to about 35, 40, if you continue that same lifestyle, that'll be it, mate. Coffee's good, mate. Yeah, coffee's actually, you know, really good for the body. One thing I will say is that it's best to drink coffee once you've eaten. That's one thing that I learnt from a nutritionist. Coffee's not the best on an empty stomach. It's best after a bit of food, but to be honest, it don't really matter if you go too deep into it. Yeah, because nowadays when I go to the gym, the only source of energy I really get is just, I usually have a lemon drink. Just lemon and water. That's it. I've got fucking so much energy. I have more energy now, of natural energy, than I did when I was drinking Red Bulls, mate. And when I used to drink the pre-workouts as well, I'd be in the gym, fucking buzzing so much, looking at myself in the mirror. And you just, you know, you guys who have pre-workout, you know what it's like. You zone out of the gym. You are a new species created on when you have some really strong, like I'm talking in Miami Strong, when I was training in Miami. There's a gym called Miami Strong, it's just off Elevation. And they sell this pre-workout, it's 350 milligrams. When I had one of those, I was not even in the gym anymore. I was a new species. And you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't even know people were around you, mate. It's fucked. And you know you're gonna die when you take that shit. Yeah, see, Western knows, mate. You need L-citrulline and carbs. Yeah. So what happened there? So this is probable scenarios again. Okay, so this is one thing that you should already know. Failed shift, and third shift. You would never take the third shift, regardless if the bias was bearish. The third shift is not valid. And look what happened after the third shift. It seeked buy stops. Okay, so pretty obvious, right? That's what happens. Okay, you can look at that countless times. You can actually reference that in our backtesting videos that we've done about failed shifts. So that is one of our scenarios. 2 failed shifts equals we don't now look for a third. Okay. Not trying to annoy you, but on the last trade, how does inversing the 5-minute gap not make us take into account that we took a 5-minute swing? So, you know, basically, as we said about the 4-hour, it's the same scenario. So if we take the 5-minute swing low, for example, in the candle, and then we inverse it, the bias is not to that swing low, because it already got taken, and then it inversed. Does that make sense? So we took the low already, and then it closed. So the draws to the sell side. That's always been the case. Same with the 4-hour, and hence why the 4-hour is bullish. I explained that to you already. So on the 4-hour, the exact same as what we spoke about before. When this 4-hour candle closed and inversed this gap, right? But you could say the exact same, but you didn't, about this scenario here. So this 4-hour closed to inverse this gap and had already taken the high. Well, that's neutral, isn't it? It's exactly just like someone who asked the same question of a question that I knew someone was going to ask. You know, it's one of those mindfuckery situations. I knew someone was going to ask, why is the 4-hour not neutral and why is it bullish? Well, it's because this candle took the high, okay, and then closed for the inverse. Does that make sense? So the draw can only be met after the candle has closed for the inverse. The draw is now for what is after, which is here. And that got met, so now it's neutral. And if it goes to being bearish, it'll be off any imbalance to the left. Does that make sense? 5-minute swing low, no treated as sell side. That's what I'm asking. Alright, let's have a look. Let me try and reference this trade. Where was it? Right. Okay, so the trade that we took, you can see that we have the first low, second low, third low. This one would be the invalidation low. And in this case, we have a bullish order block, as you can see here. And that got inversed, which is also a confluence. Where's the yes? He's talking about 1040. 1040. Are you asking if the 5 minutes neutral or bearish? I've explained it. Do you not understand it, or? I'm saying we took sell side. No, so the invalidation low, I had it down to be the third swing low for price. Because you can see here, for the Nasdaq to even shift structure, as you can see, to shift below this low and not take this low, it's not possible. So we use the third low. And if you reference ES, where's ES? Here. So ES is shifting below this first low, which is also in extremely close proximity to this other 1 minute low. So this wouldn't be the invalidation low. If that makes sense. Does that make sense or no? So why we have the invalidation low here at 1016. So it's the third low out, because price can't physically shift below this low without taking out this next low. Yeah, so that's going to run us outside a macro there. You can see there's no shift on the Nasdaq, no shift on ES, and our overall bias is also not quite there. Alright, cool. So I'll speak to you guys for the PM session. Okay, so we're basically going to be live again, and the stream will end now, and then we go live again at 1:30, yeah, 1:35 PM EST. So I'll speak to you guys in a sec. Pay attention to that. It's quite important with the 5. This is in 20 seconds. So if we inverse on the 5, that would then confirm at the same time an order block. And you'd be running your stop placement for 20 points, which it didn't inverse, so there's no considerations here. Okay. Did I hit the gym today? So I went for a 5k run in the morning, and then I ate a decent amount of food through the day. Got quite a lot of, different things that I needed to get done, and then I went to the gym in the evening and did a upper session where I just train upper. So I don't do push and pull, I just train upper. So I train, chest, back, shoulders, lats, delts, you name it. Now, the reason why I train like that in the gym, for me personally, it works best because my body reacts well to intensity, and when you train push-pull, I don't really find that I can get the intensity, and also I overdo the muscles. Also, you have to go to the gym a lot more frequently as well. Leave delts out of your upper session. How come? Put them with your arm day. I don't really train arms that much. I don't have an arm day because the thing is with arms is that a lot of people overtrain them too much. Because you only need to train your bicep for about 3 sets, and that's it. A few curls. I like to do seated curls, I feel it the most. So inclined seated curls, that'll basically be it. I train my triceps quite heavily, and the best which I've found over the years for triceps is skull crushers. Yeah, so the skull crushers, I mean when you use the Z bar. So you use the Z bar, you put weights on both sides, you lie down on the bench and the bar goes behind the back of your head. That's the one I use for triceps. That is the best exercise you can do. And then obviously the rope, but everyone knows about that one. Yeah, people train arms too much because most people got skinny arms, so they train their arms too much. But what they don't know is that when I train upper, whilst I'm training back and I'm doing lats, so I'm doing lat pull downs and lat back, it's using my biceps, so my biceps are already activated. So yeah, it's one of those ones. My arms are the kind of my strongest point on my body, really. I need to build my chest more, and you could say my shoulders as well. I've been working on for quite a while. I always superset. I never sit around in the gym. I superset anything I can possibly do without having a heart attack. Usually what I'd do is, let's say, when I'm doing delts, and I don't usually do delts unless my shoulders are really warm. I don't do delts with 2 dumbbells. I do it with 1, so I can really feel the muscle. But I superset delts with what do you call it? Shoulder shrugs. You know. I forgot the names of these exercises. I mean, I just do it, but I superset it with shoulder shrugs. Sometimes I don't always do it because there is something weird about my shoulders, is that I always train delts before I train shoulders. But if I do delts and superset shoulder shrugs with it, then when I go to do shoulders later, my shoulder hurts a lot. It starts getting pain, so... Okay, so as of now, we'd wait for a model to form. So price has already taken a short-term low and another low, so 2 lows on ES. So we have to wait for another model to form. So yes, we know the 5 is bearish, etc. But we wouldn't look to take a position as of now. So essentially the model formed, it took out the first short-term low, and the model, as of this point, this is what we'd use to trail stops. And as of the point where the model formed, the bias wasn't correlated with the model. It's then traded in favor, taking out the first low. We'd have to wait for the model to reform. All the retards don't have any accounts left to trade on, that's why. Really? Well, yeah, no, I agree. I don't really understand how people cannot have accounts to trade on. I couldn't give you more. A 7, well, what is it now? 6.3R result in January, and people don't have accounts. What the fuck is that? You know what I mean? It's pathetic, mate. Well, we're talking about a very small minority, but your accounts are in a profit and you fucked it. So, you know, you need to write on, let's say, a whiteboard on your wall and say, I am a fuckery. You know, if you lost your accounts the last couple trades, you need to put, I am a fuckery, I am a loser, and this was my fault. I am a direct #1 loser. Yeah. Yeah, also, another thing outside of taking positions, another thing that other people would, you could say, slack on, is when the account does hit 1500, they say, oh no, but the next trade will be a winning trade. Oh no, this and that. Oh, you know, I'm at 1000 now, but it's so far gone now, it might as well, you know, let's just say we're going to have a winning trade. Or price is going to recover from this point. We don't have to think about nothing here. I don't need half size, you know. As soon as your account's at 1500, you're at half size, buddy. You ain't fucking around thinking that we're going to have a winning trade. We could take another 3-4 losses from fucking now, mate. So, I'm pretty sure your account will be fucking cooked by that point. So, through the year, at any point during this year, when we take 5 losses in a row, 6 losses in a row, your account will get fucking bum raped left, right, and fucking centre, mate. So if you don't apply the account management, there's a reason why it's in the Discord. If you don't apply it, you will lose all of your accounts, all of them, through the course of this year. Highly likely. Highly likely. And that's how prop firms operate. Okay? So if you fuck around with halving size and fuck shit up, you won't see a trade sinker. You probably have one account left that might be alive, but you probably don't have a live, so you'd be cooked. I've gone half sides loads of times, you know, and then I've recovered and then I've been paid out. So just because your account's in a profit doesn't mean that you don't have to go half size. Yeah, it is free on YouTube. I mean, I don't really know, to be honest. I don't know why people get confused when it is free on YouTube, yeah. You know, you say it like that. I don't think they're really bothered, to be honest. It's okay, you can open the door. Don't worry about it, babes. You can make some fucking noise, mate. It's not a biggie, mate. It's not a biggie. You know, Dr. Scene might rip your fucking head off, mate. You gotta stay away from him. The funny thing is that she doesn't understand a word I say, mate. So I can say what I want, really. It's all jokes, isn't it? So this is an interesting metric. Let's have a little look at this. Right. This is the Monte Carlo Sim 1.8R 75% rule. Risk doubles at 4.5. Yeah, so with the scaling plan, when you actually do up your risk to 600 risk per trade, which is actually, by the way, very, very significant by the end of the year, I'm talking double how much you fucking made. So on the prop firms you want to scale with, you want to scale with Take Profit Trader, Top Step, Alpha Futures, My Fund of Futures, and as of now, that's all I would say you should scale with, which would be a 4.5k drawdown. Does that make sense? So you'd be scaling with those firms because they're the ones with the most money running through them. So you can afford to leave, 4.5 in each one, and you'd be running those ones at a 2x on TradeSync, and the rest of them, you like Apex, and let's say Traderify, Lucid Trading, Take One Futures or whatever it's called. Those ones are going to be standard, risking 300 a trade. It'll be interesting if someone can create a chart, let's say, about Lucid. I believe Lucid is actually a very good firm. Now I have a lot of kind of, let's say, good insight for Lucid, to be honest, but yeah, I've got 5 accounts of Lucid at the moment. Obviously I passed them over the last week. But yeah, basically what I was saying, it'd be interesting if someone can create... I forgot what I was going to say. It was something to do creating a chart. Oh, no, this was it. This was it. So basically what I was trying to explain, but in a chart point of view. So I thought it'd be quite interesting if someone created a chart based off my win rate, which is 58%, based off an average of a 2-to-1. Okay. And of the average percentage, which someone already had it as a 3.2% chance that we take 5-6 losses in a row. So essentially for every 100 trades we take, we're bound to come across 5 losing trades. Okay, well, I don't even know about that, but it's about a 3% chance over a certain period. And if someone created a chart basically showing you, if you didn't apply the account management, the 75% rule, how many times through the year on past results that you would actually blow your 50k account if it was fresh. That will give people insight to using the 75%. Is your Ting using the washing machine? She's doing a good job, mate. Yeah, she is. So we swept sell stops. We shifted originally below this low as well. Took sell stops. We've accumulated now, as you can see. We manipulated the high. Obviously, the 5 is still bearish, but it's obviously ticking back to being bullish again. And the 15 is not going to change. Nothing to do with bias is going to change. This macro is most likely going to be a pretty boring one. Now, it could only pick up, let's say, if we inverse the 5, which can easily happen. We'd have to close below the 5. We've manipulated the high, and if we see a shift lower in structure, then it is potential that we could see an opportunity for shorts. This would be the invalidation low, if anyone's wondering. But yeah, the bias inside of this macro doesn't make it possible for a position, because it's trading between the 2 5s. Haven't heard all the pots and pans yet. I'll probably be going off, mate, in a few minutes. Would be threading a needle to inverse the 5 and not take the IV. Yeah, exactly. Monte Carlo sims do all of this. I run these. This is part of what I was explaining. All the things can be modeled to account for randomness across metrics, and then run through the prop matrix and give real-time feedback on pass rates, timings. Very, very good. One sec, brother. Let me, Oh shit, are you okay? The fuck? Yeah, this macro's likely cooked. I mean, I'm gonna monitor the next 10 minutes and then we're likely not gonna get any trades. So we'd be live for, you know, the London session. Yeah, so yeah, you do want to use, you know, my funded futures on the rapid plan because they don't have core anymore, so rapid's fine. It's the same process. You'd still use the 2-day pass for it. Milo, is this a new thing you copped or the OG? This one, what do you class as the OG though? Because I've had a few OG things, but maybe you guys don't really know about. It depends what thing you're calling OG as well, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, nah, from a few weeks back, yeah, nah, it's the OG thing then, yeah, same. Yeah, she's calm, mate. I mean, obviously Colombia's got better offerings, but my peace of mind is more vital. Yeah, that shit's fucked, mate. Looks like a fucking alien, bruv. Well, as you guys may or not know, on Wednesday we're not monitoring price because it's triple set FOMC. That's a standard procedure. We don't monitor triple set FOMC. We are going to be obviously live tomorrow during London, New York and the PM session, and then not trading on the Wednesday. And then we're going to be obviously live on Thursday and Friday just normally. So the probability that we can actually have a position... It's not probable at all. Now, the reason why I'd say that is because for a sweep of sell side, it would have to be at least this low. So price even considering to shift higher would not be anything I would be interested in, as I don't see that as a sweep of sell side. It'd have to be at least this low, preferably obviously this low. That's not happened, so we've got C4 coming in hot. It's coming in for Wednesday. Oh shit. Sooner than I thought. Well, yeah, it's going to be very interesting, you know. How long is your flight from the US? Is it direct? I'll be surprised if it is direct. 24 hours, yeah, I did think so. It's quite a long flight. You know, there's not really a a special secret to surviving that flight, to be honest. You just kind of have to do it. Yeah, Shy's not going to give a fuck on his flight, mate. Bro booked fucking first class. All you're going to need with that flight, Shy, is some fucking diazepams, mate. Take one diazepam, whatever you call it, sleeping pill. You're going to be out, mate. Yeah, so basically I'm actually going to be in Thailand until about the 8th or the 9th of February. And then after that, I actually have to leave to get my visa. So I'm going to leave it until like the last minute or the last day that I can be here for. Which will be around, yeah, like the 9th-ish of February, I'm pretty sure. I have to look at my passport, but... yeah. I might see if I can get an extension as well, so maybe I might be able to get another extension. I don't even know if that's possible, but I'll go see to the visa office tomorrow to see if I can just pay them. But I don't know if I'll be able to pay them again. C4 gonna get on the back of the bike and lose his hair. I've had fucking so many people on my bike, mate. I even had Keswick one time on the back with his crutches, mate. You know, dislocated hip and his crutches sticking through the front of the bike. It was flying at like 220 kilometers an hour. That was jokes. But no, I mean, you know, when I suggest people to get onto a bike or what bike they should have, I always tell them to get a moped. Because I wouldn't suggest someone to get a fast bike. Yeah, it's not really worth it. I mean, unless you're obsessed about bikes, then get a bike. But I don't want to suggest someone to get onto a bike, mate, because the likelihood of dying is very, very high. I'm going to be coming back to Thailand after 10 days. So I'll basically leave on the 9th and I'll come back on like the 19th. Or like the 20th or something. Literally as soon as the visa's done, basically, I'm going to fly back. Apparently they do tell me that I have to either fly to the Philippines or Vietnam. Now I don't really want to go to either one, but they do say Vietnam's the fastest, so I found a nice hotel there in Vietnam if I do have to go, but we'll see. And what do I think of Singapore? Well, I actually really like Singapore, to be honest. Now, I think it's great. It's very business orientated, and you actually will meet people with a lot of money there. There is a lot of traders there as well. They definitely don't trade the PM session, but because it's the same time zone. Well, actually, it's 1 hour later. So right now in Singapore, it's 3 a.m. So the actual best time zone, if you want to trade the PM, London and New York, is Dubai, and Dubai is the only place in the world that you can get a late start-ish to the London session and have a good day. I think Dubai, I don't know, I'm really trying to push myself to live in Dubai. I just really want to do it, but I just really fucking don't like the place, so I don't know. I'm going to stay here, but as I said, guys, we're going to be looking at the PM session results by the end of like July time. I'll come to a conclusion then, whether I'm going to continue the PM session or not. I need to see at least like 8 months really, so until about August. But I secured the penthouse, so that's good news. So the penthouse I'll be moving into the penthouse in August. I'm gonna order a private sauna. You know, one of those home saunas, because the balcony's fucking huge. I mean, the balcony's the size of someone's fucking house, mate. It's got 2 floors, 2 rooms, living room. It's great. It's a penthouse in the same building I stay in. I wouldn't say it's inspirational, but I wanted it for so long. I kept texting them, but someone took it. That's what I'm thinking, yeah. I can put a sauna up there. Also deck chairs. Nice seating area, jacuzzi. It's got 2 balconies, 2 bedrooms. But yeah. Yeah, Skip, you might as well go hit the gym, mate. Obviously the PM session's over, so I'll speak to you guys tomorrow for London. That's the end of the PM. There wasn't anything interesting for us to take, as you can see. I explained why we wouldn't take shorts. I explained why we wouldn't take longs. And that's basically it. So hopefully you enjoyed the stream from today. I'll speak to you guys tomorrow in London. Also the New York and the PM. And then Wednesday, obviously, as you know, we're not monitoring price. Take it easy.